Today I want to talk about doing beading and sequins on perforated paper. These are Satsuma Street designs that I have stitched up on perforated paper. I'm really enjoying working on these because they are so easy. The holes are very big. It is something that I can travel in the car with and complete, or if I'm sitting at a doctor's office or waiting somewhere. These are really easy to do and fun to do. And then when I get home, I will do the beading. So I have a couple in process here. So I want to talk about um, how to do it. What's easy for me. And again, this is things that I do. These are my tips and tricks on what works for me. It may not necessarily work for you. You might not like working on perforated paper. I don't find it difficult at all to work on. Of course, these are smaller ornaments. They are not a 6x6 piece of perforated paper like Mill Hill and their larger 6x6 designs. These are just smaller designs, which make it real easy to handle and to work with. The paper is Mill Hill paper and it does not tear easily. So if you're using another brand, you might have a different outcome on them, but these are Mill Hill papers. You can buy the patterns as kits. These particular ones, which are Satsuma Street, I bought as a PDF. That way I supply my own stuff, and you can see I've got a box full of sequins here, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And I can make as many as I want as gifts or friends, family, whatever I want to do, or exchanges. And it's quite easy for me to stitch them up. They only take about a day to stitch up. Sometimes it could take 2 days, depending on how much time you have. Most of the time I can finish them in a day, and then they're quite easy to finish off. I do source my own stuff because I prefer to buy PDF if I can. Mill Hills, you cannot buy PDFs, but you can buy just the patterns on the secondary market on the unload groups. So instead of spending $12 to $15 on a kit that you can do once, maybe twice, a lot of people will sell their patterns, just the pattern after they're done, for $4 or $5, and then you can make it as many times as you want, which makes it really great. The items that I have here, I have sourced from Amazon and Hobby Lobby. Now you can source them anywhere you want. If you buy a Satsuma Street PDF, she will tell you where she sourced her sequins and beads, but they're quite easy to find. You don't have to go hunting all over the internet for them. For the sequins, they're from Amazon. I will put a link below to how to find these. This was a 24 pack of sequins. This is not all of them. This is just one box of the sequins. 24 different colors of sequins. And I want to say it was under $10, but there are tons of sequins here. And then for the glass beads, she always recommends using glass, uh, clear seed beads that are silver lined. Now these here I've got at Hobby Lobby. It says on them they are 11/0 seed beads, and they are S/L crystal. And these are check beads. So normally their beads are like half off. So it says $4. I paid $2 for this, and it has a ton of beads. It doesn't even look like I've made a dent in it so far. So great beads. I always get them in this color, and then I also buy them in black. Specifically for some of these patterns might require the black seed beads, or I might want to make a little little hanger out of beads instead of out of ribbon. So I got the black as well. But very easy to do this. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to talk about what I use to do it and how to do it. So this is the one I've got fully finished. And again, this was a PDF. You can buy almost any of Satsuma Street's beaded perforated paper ornaments as PDFs as well. She sells them in 4-packs, and then she sells them singly. So great deal if you want to make up multiples of them and you don't want to spend a bunch of money doing this. I mean, you have your initial output, but then, like I said, you have enough to do as many as you want. This is the pumpkin one. As you can see, it's all beaded up. And then on the back, I have a self-adhesive felt. I put the hanger on afterwards because I found that if I stuck this all together and stuck the um, hanger in between as I was sticking it on, it got in the way of cutting around it. So I decided just to do a little piece. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a little piece of, it's got lint, of black felt right here that's holding the ribbon. No big deal at all. It doesn't hurt it at all. It makes it much easier to cut around. And that's one of them. So that is completely done. That'll go on my Halloween tree. This one here, which is the owl, is completely stitched, and I just finished beading it, so it's completely beaded. It's got the sequins and the beads, and then on the back you can see the stitching. I have not added the backing to it yet, but I'm holding off on that because I want to share that with you and how I do that. And this one is the cat in black, and I have completed all the stitching on it and it's ready to be beaded. So I want to show you how I do that. These are all from a set of 6 that are called boutiques. You can see that's Satsuma Street. This is the one I bought off the internet. She gives you a pattern of 4, and then she shows you 2 different colorways to use for them. So you can do all of them, which would be 8 ornaments, or you can just do the colorway that you like in 4, but I can do these as many times as I want. So I am stitching all of them, or probably all of them, and I've got 3 of the 4 different styles done. The next one I need to do is the skull. So I'm going to zoom this in so you can see the cat. And there's the cat. And you can see that she's got some sequins along here, sequins here, and then a lot of beads. So we're going to go through how I put all those beads on. And then after we finish beading her, we will fully finish the owl and the cat. And I'll show you how I complete that as well. Along with everything else on the table, I have my scissors to do some cutting with. I have Mill Hill beading needles. Now, normally a kit comes with a needle itself, but their needles are on their kits are a little longer. This one I bought from 123 Stitch, and it is a number 10 sharp short Mill Hill beading needle, and it comes in a 2-pack for 89 cents. So great deal, smaller needle. I find it much easier to deal with when I'm doing beading and stuff. If you like a longer needle, if you have a Mill Hill kit, you can pull the needle out and use that. But I am using these shorts right now. The other thing that I have that's not seen is this is my beading ring. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to shake you guys. So this is a ring that I made. I have several of these to help me bead. And what I did was, and this stuff I sourced from, of course, Joanne years ago. So you can't do that, but you might be able to go to a Michael's and look for it. The first thing is this ring right here and base is just a blank, a ring blank. Now you get that in the jewelry department. You might be able to get that at Michael's. And that's all that is. It is a jewelry making ring blank that you would add to make a costume jewelry. The plate here, this piece here, is a piece of acrylic circle. I'm not sure where you could get that, but you could use anything that has a flat surface to glue, and it is E6000 onto the ring. These were something blanks that I got from when I was making jewelry years ago, and I can't even tell you where those came from, but I'm sure you could find something flat on both sides. It doesn't matter if it's round, square, or whatever, and super glue it on. The top thing here is cut out of what they call a bead along mat. It is a self-stick, double stick on both sides mat, and it's good. It's a good size mat, and it's used for beading for people that do jewelry making. You can find them at Michael's or other craft stores. And I just cut mine into a circle to match this. I laid down my little template for this, laid it on and traced it with a Sharpie, and then just cut this out. This does come off. It's just stuck because it's double stick, and it is washable. So as it gets dirty, you can rinse this off with water and let it dry naturally, and it'll dry back and be sticky again. So it's always sticky. So this is where my beads are. They're stuck onto this. And I just touched it down into my beads, and you can see it'll pick them up. And there's all my beads. And I wear this on my finger to bead. So this is how I do it. I know there are other things that you can buy. There's a sticky bob, sticky bill, whatever you want to call them. This is much easier for me to bead. I use this ring when I bead on my mirrors and stuff, and I just stick it on my finger and I use it to bead. So I'm going to put my beads away right now. I'm looking at my kitty cat here, and I'm seeing that I need, it looks like she's got some, and I'm trying to match the colors that are here. So I can see that she's got some green in her eyes that are sequins. So I'm going to grab 2 sequins for her eyes. So those are the ones I'm going to use. I'll match it up. I think that looks great. So that's the 2 sequins. And then she's also got sequins down here, which are orange. So I'm going to grab some orange. I need 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. And then she's got sequins further down that we certainly could use purple. It looks like she's got, I see blue, and then like a purpley color there. And I can certainly use something else that I would like to use. And I think I'm going to use, let's see, we might use purple. Let's take a look at it. There's different colors of purple here. There's like a reddish purple. I've got a lighter purple that I could use. There is a teal. And like I said, this doesn't have all of my sequins, but I'm just going to go with what I have here and just lay them out and decide which one I like. I think I like the blue. So I'm going to go with that and get these tealy blues. If I can get them to stop clinging to my fingers here. Right, so I think I need 3 of those. So that's it. And then I need all my clear beads. So I got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And the rest are clear beads. Okay, so I will be beading. I'm going to leave this here so I can look at my picture. Do I know what I'm doing? And I'm going to be using black thread because the cat is black. So on the owl, when I beaded the owl, I used white thread because predominantly it is white thread, so that's what I used. So I'm just using a piece of DMC thread. And when I start this, my thought is I'm going to go, because there are a lot of clear beads here, I'm going to go all the way around the head in clear beads, and then I'm going to put the eyes in. And then I'll stop there and end my thread. So when I'm starting, I'm going to start on this side. Right, and I can see the little X here, so that's where it's at. I'm going to run my thread under, run my needle under 2 threads. So we're going to do like a, oops, caught 3. We're going to do a needle point knot, I believe is what this is called. So I'm pulling this all the way down, and then I'm going to run it under that second thread, but only half of the second thread. So I'm going to pierce it so it's not so thick, and run 2 more. So when I pull this straight, it's going to hopefully hold. See, I'm tugging. It's not going anywhere, so it's secure. So we're going to start right here, come up. Now, whoops, nope, it wasn't secure, so let's give that a shot again. So run under 2, because you want this to be secure so you don't end up pulling the thread out. So we're under 2, then we're going again, and under 2. Okay, let's hope that worked. Okay, so now we're up here again. So it depends on how you want to do it. You can do your beads, and it looks like that Satsuma Street, she does all her beads in a diagonal, which means one strand going through it. Some of them I've done like that. The pumpkin one, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. The pumpkin one, the beads are in a crisscross. So the beads are going this way instead of this way. So it's up to you how you want your beads. You can do them and do an X through the beads and have them all facing like this, and it's a little sturdier. They're in there, they're sturdy either way, really. But it depends on how you want them to face. So for this presentation, we're going to do them just diagonal because that's how most of the kits and stuff tell you how to do them. So, and then if you guys want to see the other way, I'll be glad to show that too. So I'm going to take one of my beads and I'm just going to pull my thread out of my way, put my bead in. I hold my thread in the back, and then, because I'm holding it firm, and then I'm putting my needle in for the next one. And then I'm going to pull my thread down here. That way I'm always holding my thread so my bead doesn't come loose. I'm going to put my second one on. I'm going to thread through, hold my thread in the back, put my needle through, just like you're doing a cross stitch, pull it down, hold it. Now, if you didn't have a beading ring and you're doing it from here, it's quite easy just to put your needle down, pick one up, and then put it through. Hold it in the back. So we're just going to go along like this, doing each one like that, holding my thread so it doesn't get in the way and that it doesn't come loose, so the beads don't come loose. The idea is just to keep the tension so that your beads don't flop around while you're trying to do them, because one of the frustrations is you keep getting your thread caught with all this stuff. So you can see I'm being very mindful of how I'm doing it, and I'm trying to make sure my thread's not caught on anything. And this will be quite quick. Doesn't take that long to bead. Right, pull down, hold your thread, put your needle back up in the next one, hold it down, back through again, up through, I don't want to leave my arm on the table because I'm afraid it'll shake the camera, so I'm trying to hold this up, so hopefully I'm not too shaky for you. Back down, holding my thread. If you hear my little dog growling, I apologize. I don't know why. He's been like that for the last day or so. He's been growling at every little noise. That's his little feet coming in here. Okay, so I'm still holding my thread down. You can see they're all secure on here. Put it up. Oscar, stop growling. He's been that way since he got back from the vet yesterday. I don't know why. Let me pick up a couple from here so you can see how easy this is. You just put your needle in there, then pull it up. Get the thread off the corner there because you don't want it getting caught. Right, so if you do it, you just gotta, I hope you can see that. You get your knee and then just put your finger on it to get it picked up. That off the corner, pull down, I'm holding it in the back. Oops, lost it. Where'd it go? There it is. One of the worst things with beads is being afraid that you're going to drop them or you're going to spill them and they're going to go everywhere, which is normally what will happen to me at least once. I know when I first opened that package of beads, I bumped it and they went flying. And I ended up just vacuuming them up because there's so many in the package. It wasn't worth me picking them up off the floor. What ended up hitting the floor. So I'm like, nope, we're just going to vacuum it up and move on because there's like thousands of beads in those packages. So we're just going along here. We're almost to the, okay, sorry about that interruption of the call. That was to my husband. Okay, so we're still working on the beading here. One more to go, and then we are, and I'm just pulling some from the table to show you that it will work that way too. Nope, that was the last one. Okay, so now the sequins. So the sequins, and I'm not going to trail, or I'm not worried about running across the back because when we put this backing on and it's self-adhesive, it's going to glue everything down, so no worries. So we're just going to go to the eye now. I don't worry about traveling in the back. And we have to put a sequin on. So you put your sequin, it goes into the back of the sequin. You put that on. So my sequin is on. And then we're going to put a bead on. Why are you giving me a hard time all of a sudden? There we go. And then you have to run your needle back through the front of the sequin. You want to make sure you don't pierce that thread that's already in there and pull through. So there it is, it's in there. So now we're going to go and do our second leg, which is right here, right? Make sure nothing is hanging and pull, and it'll pull through. And I'm just going to play with it to make sure it's not twisted, and it's in there. So there it is. So I'm going to hold my thread again. I'm going to come up on the other side. I'm going to put my sequin. You can do it while your needle's in too, and just drop it on there through the back to the front. Okay, you could actually probably hold your thing there if that works for you. Put your needle on, or put your bead on, sorry. Run it back through and then make sure I'm not piercing that. And then back to the other side, your half cross stitch. So I'm trying to get it like that. There we go. Now we're going to slowly pull it through. And there it is. So now he has his eyes. I'm going to finish this off. And then I'm going to figure out my path to go to get all this bottom piece done, all the bottom done. Under 2, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go under 2. Oh. I'm going to run under half of another one, just back stitch a little, and then go forward 2 more, and then I'm going to cut it off. So there's our first part. They're all secure on there, and they're looking pretty cool. You can see them on there. And now I can look at my picture and see that I have several beads that are running. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4, 4, and then there's the 3 center ones. There must have been 3 spots in the center here I was supposed to leave, and I didn't notice it. I can't look at the pattern. Well, I can. Hold on. Let me see if there's 3 that I just wasn't paying attention to. There was. Oh, and they're showing them pierced in the center of each thing. So you're placing them themselves. This is not like when they left holes. So for the sequins, they did not leave holes inside in here to put the sequins in. So we're just going to line them where we think they will fit right, and we'll put them in. But we're going to do the beads. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to run and do the 4 beads here, the 4 beads here, and then I'll put 3 sequins in. And then I'll move down and get all of this. Because all the rest down here, I believe, are beads, and then we still put the sequins in the middle. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out where I'm starting. So my starting point is going to be over here. I'm going to flip, and I'm going to do like I did before. I'm going to go under 2, pull my thread up, go under part of the second one. I'm just piercing it, and then I'm going 2 more and pulling again and making sure that it's tight. There we go, we're good. And we're going to put the beads in first. So I'm just going to go in here, pick up the bead, and we're going to do the same thing as we did before. Go through these 4. I'm going to go a little faster now. Here. Jump down. Make sure I'm holding it tight the whole time, or taut. I want to say tight. Just firm, holding it so the beads are staying firm. Gotta do this first. Mine's racing ahead of the progress here. Of course, you can fast forward if you don't want to watch this part. Okay, we got all those in. Now we're going to figure out where our sequins are going, and you're just picking approximately the middle of where you think it would be. Right, I might want to move it over 1 more. Right there. So we're going to do the same thing. Now this is the orange beads. So we're going to pick up our orange bead, go through the back, or the sequin, go through the back of the sequin. Words, people. Words just don't come the way they used to. Old age is hell. Drop it down, make sure I'm happy with where it's at. Put the clear bead on. Go back through it without piercing and back through to the same hole you come out of. Just like that, and pull. Adjust it a little, and there's number 1. So there it is. Second one, we're going to try to get in the middle here. Put the sequin on. Slide it down. Okay, we're going to get our bead on. Back through the same spot. And when it's black, it's a little more difficult to see. There we go. Right, and again, we're going to make sure it's straight. And then the last one. Sequin. Through the back. Slide it down. Bead on. Back through the sequin, back through the original hole. And pull. Right, straighten it out. There we go. Looking good. So now we're moving down to the last part, and I'm not even going to finish it off. I'm going to keep running. I'm going to run out of thread. So what I think I might do is just put these sequins in first. Let me see where the placement is. So I got it. They're up a little higher. So we're going to go like right here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do the sequins first, and then I'll cut off, and then I'll get another piece of thread, and I'll finish the rest of the beading. Since this is a lighter color, you can see exactly where it's going back, which is nice. Give it a tug. There we go. Second one. They went a little lower on the second one. Pull this down. Come on, sequin. Slide it back through. Nope, I think I pierced the thread. I did. Okay, so that's what you got to be careful of, not to pierce that thread, because then it won't slide all the way through. And then pull, straighten it out. There we go. And last one. Back through. Back through. And we're all set with that. Now we're going to finish it off. There we go. Throw that in the trash. I got another piece of thread here. It's a dinky hole you got to fit, and I see it's got a thread in the way. So let's just... There we go. Okay, so now we're going to start the last ones. And they are right here. So we're right there. I'm going to run this. Here's that second one. Just grab a little bit of it and run it through. And sometimes, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I just pulled it out because of that. So let's try that again. Through here. Sometimes it gets caught and you got to try again. Here's go through. Right. Sometimes I'll just hold this little tail too until I tighten it. Make sure I got it. Now it's good. Okay. And I need more beads, so I'm just going to take my ring and just pop it down there, and there they all are. Such a great little tool. I should probably make them and sell them because they are just awesome. I'm just going to try to whiz through this, get off that corner. Okay, hold my thread. And you can see these are not hard to hold at all because it's so small. It's easy just to hold it between your fingers like this and just bead along. Hopefully I'm not shaking the camera any. If I am, I'm sorry. I want to rest my arms so you guys can see better, but I'm afraid I'm just going to keep shaking the camera. Oh, don't need two beads. Okay, then we're going to jump over and do this side. Jumping across to here. And you've only got 2 on this side, even though you have openings, that's part of the cat's tail, so we don't want to mess with that. That's where her tail is wrapping around her body. And there we go. I think that is all of it. I'm checking to make sure I'm not missing anything. It looks great. And these little spaces that are open are supposed to be open. Let me verify that so I can look at the picture. Yes, they're supposed to be open because that's part of her tail, just the background from her tail. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to come in here. We're going to grab a couple of threads, pull, split one of them back through to a couple more, and cut it off. And there we go. There she is. She's all beaded. Isn't she so pretty? Just really nice. Okay, so we're going to stop for just a second. I'm going to grab the backing material and then we will continue and show you how to finish these off. So hold on just a minute. Okay, so now we're set to finish these up. This is what I've picked up at Hobby Lobby. This is a peel and stick felt. This is the black. And it just says felt on it, peel and stick. They're 99 cents a piece. You can get them in a multitude of colors. So we have black, we have white. I've also picked up a red for Christmas, and there's a green. I still want to get the purple one, and I might get a brown one. We'll see. But for right now, we're going to use these 2 particular colors because I have a white owl and a black cat. So let's do the owl first. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is trim up some of this, just to get this extra off of here. So the way you want to trim these, I just wanted to get that little bit of extra off, is you want to leave them so that, and it's easier to see on this picture, there is 1 space away. You don't trim up to the stitching because the stitching would fall off. So you want to trim, you know, at least 1 space away all the way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our owl. We'll start with him first. And I'm going to lay him on here. And I'm just going to cut this out. Right, so I can stick this on there. Of course, I could try to be a little more neat, be a little neater so that it can be on there, but I'm not overly concerned about it. I'm also going to cut an extra little piece for the back. And with this, I just round off the corners and make a little oval. So I just go down. I'm not very neat with this. I'm just trying to get a tab so that I can put the ribbon on. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but no worries, no worries. I have 2 pieces of 6-inch length of ribbon to do for the hangers. And I'm going to stick my owl to this. So what we're going to do is peel this off. And we're going to place it down here. It is extremely sticky, as you can see. Trying to get it to lay. And then we're going to lay my owl on top of it. I think it might have been, nope, it's okay. It doesn't matter, it's going to get cut down. So we're going to lay that on top. Press down. Okay, we're going to get that all. And now we're going to cut, oops, sorry, shaking you. I apologize. Now we're going to cut just 1 space away in the straight cuts. I find it easier if I get the straight cuts done first. Trying to see where I'm at here. Right, so I'm just straight cutting 1 away. not that one, this one. Okay, yeah, just pay attention to where you're cutting. Okay, so I'm just doing the 4 first. There we go. Now I'm going to just, like I said, stay 1 away the whole time. Okay, so I clip that in, and I'm just going to go at an angle. Again, staying at least 1 away. So it looks like that. You see how that's cut right there? Just 1 away from it. Now I can also just clip this on the corner. So you can see I just clipped his little foot, and I'm just going all the way around. So I'm going to keep going, just stay 1 stitch away because you don't want to get into the stitches. So I'm just going to go like this, and then come up, go over, get around his ear. My scissors are a little sticky from a previous gluing incident, so I'm trying not to let them stick to the fuzz. There we go. See if I do it this way. I'm going to trim this part down just a little bit. There we go, so it matches more on both sides. Then we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to go 1 stitch away, all the way down till we get to that one right there. We're going to clip this straight and then clip this catty-cornered. And there he is. So he's all cut out. He's got his backing on the back, so all the stitches are safe behind there now. And now we're just going to put the ribbon on. Let's clear all this up. I'm going to use the white ribbon because he is white. I'm folding it. So when I'm folding it so it has like this little hanger that hangs like this. This will go on the back like this. Okay, we want to get it in the center. We're going to take that little piece. Did I just throw it away? I probably did. Hold on a second. Let me grab it out of my trash. Uh-oh, fell down further. Hold on. Okay. Note to self, don't let you put it up there where your trash is. I'm going to peel this off. And I'm just going to lay it over it. And press. I need to straighten. I can straighten a little. And there it is. So there's your little ornament. So easy to make. So fun. And these will all hang on my Halloween tree, which I will show during my regular episode. So that's the one. Cat's the same thing. We're going to use the black. I'm going to cut this extra off. Just not all, not really close because I want to trim it more, but I just want to get there we go. So just so he's a little smaller to handle, we're going to lay him on here. We're going to trim this. Right, we're going to need a little piece for the hanger. See if I can remember to move it away from the mess now. Right, cut that, cut this. I'm not being very, I'm trying to be quick about this, so I'm not overly concerned about it either. There it is. I'm going to lay that off to the side. And now we are going to flip this. Make sure it's fitting on there okay. Off the paper. Probably should peel it from a different angle here. There we go. Pull that off. Just make sure it is very sticky. My fingers are sticking to it. Just make sure you get the majority of it on there. There we go. Okay, there we go. And we get to trimming. It's the same thing. I do it, always the same way. I go through and I pull these off first. Get all these straight edges cut. Just going to go around that, back up here. And what I'm trying to do is get this backing that's sticky off too, so I can cut more detailed without it sticking to my scissors. And now you know why my scissors are sticky. Get all this sticky part off. There we go. Let's get rid of all that. Wipe my scissors off. Okay. So same thing again. You're just going to go one way. And I may do it in little sections to make it easier, especially when it's this detailed. And I'm always staying one stitch away, one hole away. This is where I've got to just turn up a little. Go. I'm going to nip that little, just that little edge. I don't like it sticking out like that. This one. I had too much caffeine today. I'm a little shaky. Got a little bit of an angle, so I'll just go down. I hit where I want to hit. I know it can be nerve-wracking, but like I said, just make sure you're staying at least one hole away, and you'll be fine. There we go. Right, and then this one we're going to come across here. This one we're going to go over here. And we still have to do the top for head. Tilt it up a little. Go across. And then tilt down a little. And there she is. So she is all done. Okay, now I'm not going to bother with that inside there. That's just too detailed to worry about. She is completed. I'm going to check on my little piece here, make sure that it'll fit on the back of her head, which it does. I'm going to get my ribbon. Again, I'm going to take my two ends and put them together. Flip her over. I want the little bowing part. You see where it bows? I want that like this. So that's why I line it up this way first, because I want it to bow down, because when it hangs, that's how you want it to hang. And then check our placement. Make sure maybe it'll help me if I lay it down a little. Right, get these together. Right there. Oh, let me pull this first. This will probably be easier to do, and then do it the other way. Pull that off. Hang on to it. Let's line these up again. I am by no means an expert, but this is how I do it. Put it in the center, lay that down over it, and there it is. There's your little ornament. So cute. I can make as many as I want, gift them out, just lots of fun to make, and I'm enjoying doing them. Like I said, we go on, if we're driving, my husband's driving us somewhere, I take these with me. I'm working on them in the car. I'm working at the doctor's office because they're really easy to pull out and do. I don't have to worry about the beading until the last. And then they're all done. So that's how I bead my perforated paper patterns. And you could take any pattern you want, and make it into an ornament with perforated paper. Any design, you can stitch it on and then cut around it and make these. And it would be cute in anything that you do. You can certainly add beads to any pattern if you leave little holes where you want the beads to go and then bead afterwards. I may do a couple like that and show you different patterns that I've used or I will use to bead and make. So I think might do some Christmas ones. But I thought this was a great deal. I've got, like I said, these were a PDF. I didn't have to worry about paying postage. I didn't have to worry about paying so much for each kit. Because I want to say that, and don't quote me on this, but I think it was $16 to buy the PDF. And if you were buying the same thing as kits, I think it was $40 for this particular set of kits, $40. So, and I spent $10, $12, $14 plus this, 15, 16, 16, right? And then the pattern, which was 16, so $32 I spent. So I saved $8, and I have enough to do a plethora of different patterns. So I won't have to put out for this again. This is your initial put out. The rest of the time I can just buy patterns. So I think it worked out great. I hope you enjoyed watching me do that, so you get more comfortable in how you do it. Very fun to do. I bought little packages of ribbon over at the Hobby Lobby or Joann's when they were available. And they're just fun to do. So I look forward to sharing my Halloween tree with you when I'm able to film another episode. I have several different things that I have made for my little Halloween tree, plus from the past. So I'll show you that tree and the ornaments on it. If you have any questions, you can certainly leave me a message below or email me at crossmystitches@yahoo.com, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. You guys have a great day and have a wonderful fall, and I will see you soon. Bye.